Smell something? Class 4, free roaming vapor! Get it! I'm jammed!
My proton beam, it's not working!
Here, try this!
Thanks.
Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a carnival-style Nerf target shooter. And it doesn't have to be Ghostbusters themed, but we like Ghostbusters, and so that's our theme. But I'm going to show you how to make one, and you can customize it however you want. You can make a Nerf target game out of just about anything. Just grab some cups. And you have a fun game. The only problem is, you got to pick them up, every time. If you're doing this for kids and it's outdoors, things get wet, things get messed up, and for a lot of kids, it's a lot of work to reset it every single time. So what we have here is a carnival-style target game. Now, the targets get knocked over. You can reset them with a lever. The targets are made out of wood or a type of foam, which makes them very durable for a very long period of time. If you go ahead and finish your board and paint it, it could even withstand getting rained on a little bit and not become damaged. So this particular one here is customized for an elementary school Halloween carnival fundraiser as a Ghostbusters theme. But what I'm going to do is go through a video showing you how to construct just the basic unit. Okay, so we're going to have essentially a box frame. And the frame is made out of 1x8s, and I use 6 foot long 1x8s, and these are 3 foot. So we're essentially just cutting it in half, and that makes the frame. Then I have 3 shelves here, and the shelves are not as deep. You can kind of see this potentially, that the shelves don't go all the way back. That's because you can see in this version here, I have something behind them, okay, to catch the dart. So when you shoot and miss the Nerf dart, instead of flying all the way through, the Nerf dart gets caught in the screen behind, falls down, and then we have an area underneath to pick up the darts and collect them. You can customize these with anything you want as the targets. They could just be a traditional red and white target, where you can put your favorite characters on them or your least favorite characters on them that you want to hit. The top and bottom here add to the support, and they also add to the decoration of whatever particular game you want to set up. On the sides, you can see here I have the system for the reset with these levers, and then behind it, you can see all it really is are a bunch of dowels, and I put some screws through the dowels, and that's what's used to do the reset, like this. So it's really easy. I'm going to show you a cutout diagram of all the pieces, all their dimensions, and if you know what you're doing with woodworking, you could just go ahead and copy that and make this particular target. If you need help with how to drill the holes, where to put everything, what types of screws to use, all those sorts of details for people who are not normal woodworkers or builders, I have a second video that'll much longer. Okay, so you've got to see what the actual target board looks like in person, a finished decorated one, and then kind of a plain one. What we have here is the overall dimensions for each of the parts and pieces, and then some of the board. So if you're a woodworker, if you've done projects like this before, you don't really need any more, probably from me or my explanation. You kind of have the overall dimensions and everything you need. If you are not someone who's built anything like this before and are looking for some advice, I'm going to just talk here for another a minute or two to explain a few of these details, and then there's going to be a second video that goes through everything in a lot of detail, how to just cut the boards and drill the holes and put in the screws and what type of screws to use and all those sorts of things. I'll explain in a lot more detail and take a lot more time. So, but if you don't need that, kind of take a screenshot of this and you'll have all the dimensions you need. If you want a little more explanation, I'll give you the overview. The overall box, the sort of frame here, I just bought 2 6-foot long 1x8s. So it's not really 8 inches thickness. If you're experienced, you know the nominal size of this is going to be always a little bit less. That way there's no waste. Kind of put that together. That's the first part. Right. The bottom board here and the top board here, I used 1x6s, also 6 foot. So just cut that one in half and boom, you got those 2 pieces there. This one you can adjust the height of it depending on, this is just for like the title, sort of the name of your game, whatever you want it to be. That's what you would put there. Again, the bottom one is sort of serves 2 purposes. One is a decorative purpose. Well, actually maybe 3. One is a structural purpose. It really helps stabilize the whole structure. And then another purpose is that this down here in the bottom is your collection area for the darts. So I'll talk about a backing and the thickness of this in a second, but that's kind of where the darts would be collected. Now, why do I have this so thick? And that's because, don't make the mistake, if you're going to put a back on this, your targets have to be able to fall flat and then not hit the back. So you can use a little 4-inch piece of wood for the shelf, but if your target is 6 inches, it's going to just come and hit the back. What if you don't use a back? Then it doesn't matter. But I wanted to use a back because I wanted to collect the darts. This is going to be used in a carnival for elementary kids, and there's going to be a lot of kids going through it at once. We have people kind of working. It's usually in the evening, and it's tough to collect up all the darts. So missed darts will hit a backer, which in this case you could either use something like a fabric, or I'm just using screen material. That way if it's windy, it's not going to get caught and actually make the thing a little more unstable. And so that's what I use. But you don't have to use anything. You could use a solid back if you want. It all depends. So the shelves then are not as deep as the side walls because I want to have some space for the darts to be able to hit the back, and then fall down. So we use 3-inch shelves here. Now they're not going to be, I have in my video the actually measuring this, so the inner dimension is then going to be less. It's not going to be the full 3 feet, so you're going to have to take actual measurements to get your exact ones on those, and all 3 probably won't be the same either because your wood's not going to be perfect, so you'll probably need to take 3 individual measurements and cut those. The heights of them, I'm usually leaving about 1 inch space between the top of a target and the bottom of the shelf up above it. That way there's a little bit of room around the target, not too much, like wasted space, but not too tight because then you run risk of having problems with the functionality of it. I go through some in the other video how I made the targets themselves. You could use wood for them and cut it out. I use foam for some of them. You could use foam for all of them. The more durable the material, the longer the thing's going to last, and the more it's going to hold up to more powerful Nerf. So if you use the Nerf Rival, those little balls, they're very fast, and so if you use cardboard or paper or something like that, it's going to get ripped apart. You need something a little tougher for this. And then the hinges, I just use real hinges. I mean, if you could kind of go inexpensively and use some like duct tape, on this to kind of make a little bit of a hinge, but it's not going to be perfect. It may want to fall down. It's going to be hard to reset. Over time, it might get ripped off. So I used actual hinges. This was one of the larger expenses, of the project. So there it is. There's more of an explanation in a second video. But if you want to build this sort of Nerf target in the carnival style for yourself, for your kids, for your school, this is how you would do it.